three states. Delhi High Court set to pronounce verdict on Kejriwal's plea challenging ED arrest and custody. Supreme Court set to hear petitions challenging the CAA today. All eyes on the big hearing. Yet another targeted attack in Jammu and Kashmir. Terror attack in Shopian, one non-local critical. Rahul runs down Agniveers once again, says they won't last before the Chinese troops. The United States and Mexico witnessed breathtaking celestial spectacle with the solar eclipse. A very good morning to all our viewers watching Republic TV. I'm Kriti Mehta. You're watching World this morning. Meanwhile, let's move to the big story. Actor turned politician Kangana Ranaut has hit out at the Congress party over its alleged allegations that she consumed beef. Now, Kangana has denounced the claims, terming them as completely baseless and shameful. She also said that she is a proud Hindu. Meanwhile, the Congress has found itself in the middle of yet another political backlash. The details are all in this report next.
Just days ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, a fresh controversy has surrounded actor-turned-politician Kangana Ranaut. The BJP candidate from Mandi denounced claims that stated she consumed beef and termed the rumours as baseless. Slamming those spreading misinformation ahead of the polls, she took to social media and called the claims shameful. This heated reaction follows Congress leader Vijay Wadetiwar's allegation that Kangana had in the past stated that she ate beef.
मेरे माँ ने बीफ खाने से मना किया। मैं बहुत इच्छा थी मेरी, तो मैंने बीफ लाया। ऐकून घ्या चॅनल वाले, मी नाही म्हणता कंगना म्हणाली तिचा ऑफिशियल ट्वीट आहे, तो मैं बीफ खाती हूँ, मुझे बहुत पसंद है, इसलिए मुझे भाजपा की उम्मीदवारी मिल जाती है।
Remember, the Congress's latest attack on Kangana comes just weeks after Congress leader Supriya Srinath had hurled sexist slurs at her. Congress is now facing the heat.
This Congress party is clearly anti-women. On the other hand, you have a Prime Minister that has ensured, whether it's Triple Talaq or Nari Shakti Vandan, there is respect for women. If the Congress party is so defunct of any thought process, I think the befitting answer will be on 4th of June.
देखिए, इस प्रकार के गिरे हुए बयान ये कांग्रेस वाले अक्सर देते हैं। इन बयानों से ना तो कोई फर्क पड़ने वाला है। ये जानबूझ करके महिलाओं पर, दूसरों पर इस प्रकार की भाषा, अभद्र भाषा का ये प्रयोग भी करते हैं और गलत बोलते हैं।
ऐसा है, कौन क्या खाता है, क्या पहनता है, यह सार्वजनिक रूप से चर्चा का विषय नहीं होना चाहिए। वो सब हर व्यक्ति की व्यक्तिगत पसंद है। लेकिन जहां तक कांग्रेस की बात है, ऊपर के नेता से लेकर नीचे तक सब बीफ खाते हैं, तो बीफ कब से उनके लिए बैन हो गया?
Is this an attempt by Congress to stay relevant? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now up next in the Morning Express, days after quitting the Congress party, Sanjay Nirupam has once again come out levelling some serious allegations against the Shiv Sena UBT candidate Amol Kirtikar in the alleged Khichdi scam. Repeating his Khichdi chore remarks, Nirupam made some serious charges, this time even naming Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut, who he termed as the kingpin of the Khichdi scam in Maharashtra. Now, Nirupam alleges that Amol Kirtikar and Sanjay Raut were involved in a Khichdi scam after finding alleged irregularities in ties between the Shiv Sena UBT leaders and a business responsible for distributing food to underprivileged people in Maharashtra during the COVID pandemic. Here's a report on that.
Days after quitting the Congress, Sanjay Nirupam has once again leveled some serious allegations against Shiv Sena UBT candidate from Mumbai Northwest, Amol Kirtikar.
और ये जो पूरे खिचड़ी घोटाले के किंगपिन हैं, ये हैं शिवसेना उबाठा के प्रवक्ता श्री संजय राउत। संजय राउत जी खिचड़ी घोटाले के सूत्रधार हैं।
However, this time Kirtikar was not the only leader in the crosshairs of Sanjay Nirupam, as the ex-congressman leveled some serious allegations against Uddhav Sena leader Sanjay Raut. Speaking exclusively to Republic on this matter, here is what Nirupam had to say.
तो ऐसे उम्मीदवार के खिलाफ तो सख्त कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, लेकिन इसके साथ साथ संजय राउत के खिलाफ भी कार्रवाई करनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि खिचड़ी चोरी में वो भी शामिल है। सह्याद्री रिफ्रेशमेंट जो उनकी कंपनी है, उनके पार्टनर उनके साथ उस कंपनी में है, और उस कंपनी को 33 रुपए में 300 ग्राम खिचड़ी सप्लाई करने का जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिला, उसमें से 16 रुपए में 100 ग्राम खिचड़ी सप्लाई करने का सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट उन्होंने दिया और 200 ग्राम खिचड़ी चोरी कर ली। और उस कंपनी से संजय राउत ने अपने परिवार के सदस्यों के नाम पे लगभग 1 करोड़ रुपए की दलाली ली है, और इस नाते उसकी तरह, उस उम्मीदवार की तरह संजय राउत भी खिचड़ी चोर है और संजय राउत इस पूरे घोटाले का सूत्रधार है। उनके खिलाफ भी ईडी की जांच शुरू होनी चाहिए।
In damage control mode, Shiv Sena Uddhav faction spokesperson went on to allege that Nirupam's allegations are part of a BJP conspiracy.
देखिए, संजय निरुपम जी वो बुझे हुए कारतूस हैं जो धमाका मचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, जिन्होंने अर्जी लगाई हुई है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के द्वार में कि उनको अंदर ले लिया जाए, क्योंकि उनको चुनाव लड़ना है। वो बेबुनियाद आरोप हैं, और जैसे मैंने शुरू में भी कहा था, जब उन्होंने आरोप लगाने की श्रृंखला शुरू की थी, तभी भी कहा था कि ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की भाषा बोल रहे हैं।
The Shiv Sena UBT also went on to question Nirupam over his silence on the matter up until now, terming it an election gimmick.
जानबूझकर जब कांग्रेस पार्टी ने संजय निरुपम जी को पार्टी से निकाल दिया, तो उन्होंने जानबूझकर हमारी पार्टी की छवि खराब करने का एक प्रकार से सुपारी उठा लिया है। टिकट के लिए भटक रहे हैं। कोई ऐसी पार्टी नहीं बची है जिसके पास जाकर टिकट की दरकार नहीं कर रहे हैं। जब कुछ सूझ नहीं रहा तो शिवसेना को बदनाम करने की साजिश रची जा रही है।
With Maharashtra set to begin polling soon, will Sanjay Nirupam's revelation have any impact on the prospects of Shiv Sena Uddhav faction? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And now let's take a quick look at some of the fresh election-related stories now. AIMIM will support Anand Raj Ambedkar, the grandson of Dr. Balasaheb Ambedkar, who is contesting the Lok Sabha election from Amravati in Maharashtra. The president of AIMIM, Owaisi, said that his party workers will work towards Anand Raj Ambedkar's victory. Former Union Minister Birender Singh said he has quit the BJP and will be joining the Congress. The move coming almost a month after his son Birender Singh joined the Grand Old Party. Birender Singh's wife and former BJP MLA from Haryana, Prem Lata, also quit the BJP. The opposition Mahavikas Aghadi, comprising the Shiv Sena, the NCP and the Congress, will hold a press conference today. The meeting will be held at Shivalay, a Sena party office. Fakira Dingaleshwar Swami, a prominent Lingayat seer, said he has decided to contest as an independent candidate and against Union Minister Prahlad Joshi from Dharwad segment in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. The seer accused the BJP and the Congress of betraying the people of Dharwad constituency. Independent candidate from Aligarh, Pandit Keshav Dev, has been allotted slippers as the election symbol, after which he was seen carrying out the election campaign wearing a garland of 7 slippers around his neck. Well, moving on now, the Delhi High Court is set to pronounce its verdict in Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's petition challenging his arrest by the Enforcement Directorate in the excise policy case. However, it was only yesterday, remember, that BRS leader K. Kavita's bail plea was denied by a Delhi court in the excise policy case. Now remember, viewers, the BRS leader was arrested on the evening of March 15 by the ED. Amidst protests from the party workers, hours after the agency and the Income Tax Department conducted searches at her Hyderabad residence. Kavita was then remanded to judicial custody till April 8. Here is all that happened in this report up next.
When Sanjay Singh walked from Tihar after 6 months, hopes were high for the others roped in the legal quagmire. However, in a major upset for BRS leader K. Kavita, a court in New Delhi on April 8th denied her an interim bail. The court dismissed her plea, saying that the stage was not right to grant her the interim bail. K. Kavita was arrested on March 15th by Enforcement Directorate in the money laundering case from her Banjara Hills residence in Hyderabad. The latest setback for K. Kavita comes 2 days after the BRS leader moved a Delhi court urging it to recall its order allowing CBI to interrogate her in Tihar jail. Meanwhile, the Delhi High Court is set to pronounce a verdict in the AAP Supremo Kejriwal's petition challenging his arrest by the ED in the excise policy case. As the big faces stay behind the bars, BJP is launching back-to-back scathing attacks at the opposition. With CBI heat looming over K. Kavita, will Arvind Kejriwal find any relief in the excise policy case? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, in a worrying report, Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists fired upon a known local resident in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian last evening. The victim is identified as a resident of Delhi who is accompanying 2 foreign nationals as its guide. The attack took place when they were having dinner. The condition of the victim is critical. He has been taken to an hospital. Take a look at this comprehensive report for more.
Around 8:45 last evening, Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian witnessed another terror attack. A non-local worker was attacked near a hotel at Shopian's Hirpora area. According to the staff, foreign tourists and their guide were having dinner when armed terrorists entered and opened fire on them. Dilranjit Singh, who is a resident of Delhi, sustained critical injuries, prompting immediate medical attention. The BJP has appealed to people to maintain vigil.
शोपियां में आज फिर एक टूरिस्ट गाइड पर जानकारी मिली है कि अटैक किया गया है। इलेक्शन लोकसभा का है, बहुत से ऐसे लोग हैं जब हम माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश करेंगे। सभी को सतर्कता से रहना चाहिए, सतर्कता रखनी चाहिए। सुरक्षा में भी अपने आप में जांच करेंगे, लेकिन नाजुक वक्त रहता है, सस्ती वक्त रहता है इस वक्त। तो मुझे लगता है कि भगवान करे कि उसकी जान को कुछ ना हो, लेकिन कुल मिलाकर के इस समय इस प्रकार के प्रहार किए जाएंगे। लोगों को भी सतर्क रहना चाहिए, सुरक्षा एजेंसियों को।
Meanwhile, the forces cordoned off the area, launching a manhunt for the LET terrorist. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
We'll take a quick look at the business news stories now, viewers. As per the notification, the National Stock Exchange of India declared May 20 as a trading holiday in Mumbai due to the general election voting. Additionally, the NSE also announced that the maturity date for the Nifty Mid-Cap selection option contract will be May 17 instead of May 20. Microsoft has announced plans for a new artificial intelligence hub in London focused on product development and research. The move represents a win for Britain, which has sought to bolster its credentials as a technology superpower. The unit will be spearheaded by Mustafa Suleiman, who was recently hired by Microsoft last month. In a remarkable performance by the BMW Group India, the company recorded its highest ever first quarter car sales, totaling to over 3,600 units in the period ending March 2024. The performance marked a 51% surge in sales compared to the same period last fiscal year. The president of BMW Group of India expressed dissatisfaction with the outstanding sales performances and said its key car models are at the top of their game. India's bid for self-sufficiency in critical minerals is facing another setback. The government has delayed the selection process for preferred bidders by 3 months for the first round of critical mineral blocks. According to a notice served by the Ministry of Mines, the final date to select the preferred bidders for the remaining 7 mineral blocks has been deferred till July 8 from April 18. After seeing severe fluctuation last week, the US dollar has halted the momentum in the global currency market. However, a new problem is now emerging with the Chinese yen taking a severe hit against the US dollar as traders eagerly wait for the recent inflation figures in the United States. The situation is quite concerning and evident by the fact that even the Japanese authorities are raising alarms. And in some positive news out of Israel, the war-torn nation's cybersecurity industry saw a huge jump in exit deals, which soared over $7.1 billion in 2023. The war between Israel and Hamas continues to take a toll on the Israeli economy. The Q1 results in the cybersecurity sector already show figures reaching over $1 billion. Now, in an exclusive interview to Republic, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, in a direct critique of the DMK, asserted that the party lacks credibility in championing the interests of the fishermen. He pointed out that the DMK's involvement in the Kachativu decision, implying its complicity in actions contradicting its earlier stated positions. Jaishankar also accused the DMK of being adept at a rhetoric that doesn't align with its actions. Listen in.
The DMK posing as the champion of Tamil fishermen, saying they are in difficulties today because the central government took decisions which has put them at a disadvantage or in difficulties. Okay, so a very clever political narrative has been constructed over many years, where the DMK is sort of fighting for the people who have a grievance, and it looks as though the center is the culpable party.
Well, Jaishankar also provided insights into the Citizenship Amendment Act, highlighting its focus on addressing the aftermath of partition. He emphasized that the distinctiveness of the situations in Pakistan and Sri Lanka, rejecting comparisons between them. According to Jaishankar, the essence of the CAA lies in rectifying historical injustices and providing justice to those who found themselves on the wrong side of history. Overall, he reiterated that the CAA aims to readdress historical grievances and ensure fairness for affected individuals. Here's take a look.
We are, through CAA, we are trying to do justice to a set of people who, in a sense, were caught on the wrong side of history, who were let down by the assumptions of the then rulers of India that they will be looked after in the place of domicile.
And taking a dig at the Guardian's report, the External Affairs Minister questioned foreign media, quoting intelligence sources. Jaishankar stated that the intelligence reports are not credible enough for an official reply. He further added that India is being wrongly asked about these killings in Pakistan, suggesting that questions must be asked to Pakistan over who are these eminent people being killed. Capturing the imagination of the foreign media, listen in to what he said.
These alleged deaths in Pakistan of certain people are terrorists. Well, you remember that Hillary Clinton bit about snakes in your backyard. I think you have enough snakes in your backyard. Snakes may bite each other. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's happening in Pakistan. It's for them to figure out what is happening.
Well, Jai Shankar also rebuked Rahul Gandhi's comment on India's democracy in London, stating only weak politicians ask for foreign interference. Rahul Gandhi faced backlash for saying that India's democracy has come undone. This comment triggered a political firestorm with the ruling BJP, accusing him of shaming the country on foreign soil.
I believe today, as a foreign policy advisor to the Prime Minister, that we should have a hard-headed view of our neighbors, especially of a neighbor like China. That in that sense, the Patel tradition, rather than the Nehru tradition, should guide us. It's not like nobody wants bad relations with neighbors, but good relations cannot be built up on weakness. Good relations cannot be built up on carelessness or on ideology or on misplaced ideologies.
Well, the External Affairs Minister also addressed the recent killings in Pakistan with a dismissive tone, stating that enough snakes exist within Pakistan itself. He emphasized that when intelligence is quoted, it is rarely taken seriously by the governments. In response to the recent Guardian piece, which purportedly cited UK intelligence, he questioned whether the UK government would react if the Guardian quoted such sources. Overall, the EAM entirely dismissed the recent Guardian article, implying a lack of credibility in the information that was presented.
These alleged deaths in Pakistan of certain people are terrorists. Well, you remember that Hillary Clinton bit about snakes in your backyard. I think you have enough snakes in your backyard. Snakes may bite each other. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's happening in Pakistan. It's for them to figure out what is happening.
Now, charging back at foreign comments made by the United States, Germany and the UN, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar sets the record straight, says external global pressure cannot dictate or impact India's policies. He further adds that nations should have manners too. Listen in.
My way of responding to 10 years of pressure, one is by answering back, but the other is by doing things in India. That when you have a government which says, look, this is a democracy that delivers, we will use technology, we will do good governance, we will ensure that socio-economic benefits will be delivered on a mass scale, and this will expose the people who espoused an earlier model, which was actually, this is one way of doing it.
Well, now let's move on to some of the entertainment news stories. After the massive success of Pushpa movie, the superstar Allu Arjun has made a comeback with a power-packed sequel of Pushpa. The much-awaited teaser of Pushpa 2 is out and has created an anticipation among the viewers. The teaser was released on the occasion of Allu Arjun's 42nd birthday. The film will release on August 15, coinciding with Rohit Shetty's Singham 3. In an unprecedented move to celebrate 120 years since the Entente Cordiale, French troops joined their British counterparts in the famous changing of the guard ceremony outside Buckingham Palace for the first time. Troops marched together in a display of solidarity between Britain and France amid the war in Ukraine. Edward and Sophie were representing King Charles III, who is continuing his cancer treatment and was not at Buckingham Palace. The US actor and the Marvel star Jonathan Majors managed to avoid the jail time and has been sentenced to probation after he was found guilty of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. The conviction stems from an altercation in March 2023 in which Majors' then-girlfriend accused him of attacking her in the backseat of a car, twisting her arm behind her back and squeezing her middle finger until it fractured. Country music singer Morgan Wallen has been arrested after police say he threw a chair off the rooftop of a newly opened 6-story bar in downtown Nashville. An arrest affidavit said the chair landed about 3 feet from officers who talked to witnesses and reviewed security footage. Premiering Back to Black in London, Marissa Abela said that she tuned out controversy over the Amy Winehouse film directed by Sam Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson, who walked the red carpet with her husband Oren Taylor Johnson, said the film follows Winehouse's love story with Fielder Sewell. Well, it's time for a quick break now, but more news and updates continue. On the other side, Donald Trump rejects national abortion ban, says abortion legislation should be left to the United States. Elon Musk likely to provide electric vehicles in India amid reports that Tesla is searching for a location to set up its factory in India.